In the early years of World War II, soldiers on the battlefield faced a terrifying reality. Tanks were no longer slow, unreliable machines. They were fast, armored monsters rolling straight through infantry lines. For ordinary soldiers with rifles, tanks felt unstoppable. Bullets bounced off steel like rain. Fear spread faster than gunfire. Armies desperately needed a way for a single soldier to fight back. That desperation gave birth to a weapon many would later laugh at. It was long, heavy, painfully loud, and brutally difficult to use. When soldiers first saw it, they doubted it immediately. Some even mocked it, a rifle against a tank. It sounded ridiculous. This weapon kicked so hard that it could injure the man firing it. It was awkward to carry, slow to reload, and demanded extreme courage to use properly. Many soldiers believed it was useless before it ever fired a shot. But war has a way of proving people wrong. On the battlefield, theory means nothing, only results matter. And soon, this so-called useless rifle began to show its true purpose. Early German tanks were not as invincible as they appeared. Their armor was thinner than legends suggested, especially from the sides and rear. Skilled soldiers learned where to aim. Vision ports, tracks. Weak points engineers never expected infantry to exploit. When fired from close range, this rifle could punch through armor, damage engines, and cripple tanks long enough for crews to abandon them. Suddenly, fear changed sides. Tank crews realized something horrifying. They were no longer untouchable. A single hidden soldier could stop them. The weapon demanded bravery. To use it, a soldier had to let the tank come dangerously close. Close enough to hear the engine. Close enough to feel the ground shake. Close enough to risk being crushed or shot before firing a single round. Pulling the trigger meant accepting pain, noise, and recoil, so violent it could knock the shooter backward. But when it worked brutally. A disabled tank was not just metal. It was momentum destroyed. It slowed advances. It forced caution. It saved lives. Over time, soldiers stopped laughing. They respected the weapon, even if they hated using it. It was never perfect. As tanks became more heavily armored, its effectiveness dropped. New weapons replaced it. Rocket launchers, shaped charges, more advanced solutions. But in the darkest early years of the war, when options were limited and hope was thin, this rifle filled a critical gap. It gave infantry something priceless, a chance. History often remembers the biggest weapons, massive tanks, powerful bombers, legendary battles. But it sometimes forgets the uncomfortable tools that carried armies through their weakest moments. This rifle was not elegant. It was not easy. It was not forgiving. But it stood between soldiers and unstoppable steel when nothing else could. And that is why it mattered. Not because it was perfect, but because it existed when it was needed most. World War II was won not just by brilliant designs, but by desperate solutions used by determined people. And sometimes the weapons people laugh at are the ones that quietly change everything.